So this short video is a bit of a jargon buster. It tackles the idea of zero-based budgeting, which is us accountants love our jargon, and but it's a pretty simple idea, really. So let me just use it by comparison to, I guess, rollover budgeting, which is what most budget holders are used to. So rollover budgeting typically is last year we had 100. This year we want at least 100, probably 105 because of inflation, et cetera, et cetera. That's typically how most budget holders work, always have worked, like to work. And so come near the end of one year, they'll quickly spend, if they can, their budget to make sure they can justify having more for next year. It becomes a bit of a habit. It's an ingrained set of behaviors that means we get the same amount next year or more, and we can carry on delivering our job. So that's kind of rollover budgeting. Zero-based budgeting is, it doesn't mean you get a zero budget, right? Let's be really clear about that. But what it means is we actually challenge everything in our budget. That's what it means. So we start from the ground up. We start from zero and then try and justify in every piece of spend to make sure that it's valid and that it's a good use of our money. So an example actually came from the global financial crisis back in 2007, 2008. One of my clients, a law firm, the managing partner, they do a lot of conveyancing, and obviously in the GFC, the housing market went off a cliff, so nothing was happening. A major part of their revenue just stopped running. So we thought, right, I have to manage my costs here. So he used stationery, the stationery budget as an example. He said to all his staff, do not spend anything on stationery going forward unless you have to. So in other words, there is no stationery budget in this case. If you need any stationery, you have to come and bang on my door, and you have to justify why you need stationery and how much it is, etc., etc. Well, over the next 2 years, he got no one bang on his door. How strange. So actually his budget did go to zero in that case. So it is a case of saying, okay, let's go back to zero and let's start working up. So I think we understand this at home. My third bullet point here. So let's take a slightly silly example of, let's say, a couple, both of whom are earning well, they're earning well, and they like their holidays. So that, year one, they go off to the Maldives and have a very expensive, luxury, beautiful holiday in the Maldives. Very nice. But at the end of year one, let's say one of those earners no longer has an income. So maybe they, I don't know, take time off to have a family, or they lose their job, or something happens to mean we've now only got one income coming into that household. And it's the idea of, oh, well, we'll still go off to the Maldives again next year. Well, hang on. In year two, we might need to have a caravan in Bognor because we haven't got so much income. Okay, nothing wrong with Bognor. It's very nice in Bognor, but it's not the Maldives. And so I think we understand this at home. We understand that we have to cut our cloth according to our means. And that's really all zero-based budgeting is. It says we have budget constraints. That's life. That's how it is. How can we adjust our thinking to make sure we maximize the value that we deliver by choosing the things that we do that maximize value and maybe limiting a little bit the things that add less value? So that's all it kind of really is. And it's a case of then filtering and making decisions based upon value to our, let's say, stakeholders. So that could be customers in a commercial organization or clients. In your case, it could be your residents or other stakeholders. And it's a way of thinking about return on investment. So which things give us the biggest bang for our buck, essentially. And let's do more of those and maybe less of some of the other things. It's the same at home. We have to make choices where money's tight based on chosen criteria. Same thing at work. And that's really all zero-based budgeting is. It says, let's work from the ground up and let's build our budget up to make sure we're delivering high value to our stakeholders. So good luck with that thinking.